My name is Joe Pulsini, and this is my informative speech for Dr. Kelly's class. Dr. Kelly, I know we were supposed to do it in front of five audience members, but unfortunately my family does not live in this state, and I do social work every day, and did not have any co-workers available to sit with. So you may deduct points as necessary, and I apologize. But my informative speech is something that I have done and have been very aware of in my own life, and has to do with family finances. I believe building a family finance plan is very key in this world and in this society today. And I'd like to reference at first one of the big ones is to encourage families to save money for a financial plan for college, because college is so expensive nowadays. So financial planning, saving for college for their kids is very, very important. I have two children that I'm going to have to save for, and it's with the expense rate of being so high on a yearly basis for private, even state colleges, is very, 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 very hard to to have families save for. Being said, looking at an article by Gene Evangloff, encouraging families to save for college may be the most promising new idea in higher education finance in years. But educators and policymakers say that saving is only a partial solution to the cost of meeting college costs. Middle-income families were feeling increasingly squeezed by soaring college costs. Two-income families are finding it virtually impossible to save. As myself right now, I have two children. I'm a four-person household, and my kids are only 4 and 10, and I have just started to put money away. Which is why I hope that in the meantime, some of the student debt and forgiveness programs will actually continue to work and be affordable and accountable and accessible to people in my generation, so we are not bogged down with student debt as I am right now, because financially that hurts everybody as a family when planning for a financial future. Also, looking at other parts of financial planning, you have to planning family finances based on setting up trusts, trust funds, saving for the future, saving week by week, month by month. But what it comes down to is a lot of people are living paycheck to paycheck, which is very, very sad. There is no real right or wrong approach, but many people feel that they may have the answers to do such. And I was looking at an article in the British Journal of Hospital Medicine, and there is a right approach that they state, saying that you can consider setting up a dedicated saving fund for your child from the child's earliest days. Well, many people try to do this, but it's very difficult if you don't have the means. I recommend, as I try to do, put as much as I can aside every month, $25, $50, put in the savings, and let that inflate and let that grow. There are ways to work out your savings goals and prioritize them in order of importance. In a way, you might want to save for a family trip. For instance, my family and I went to Disney World this year. We used our tax refund from last year. I took my 4-year-old daughter to Disney World for the first time. So planning family finances is a very, very hard thing to do these days, but it is very important, because if you don't do it, you find yourself being in trouble. Another article that I found very interesting was by Michael Jelnick and Eugene Bernstein, called Money Talks, Becoming More Comfortable with Understanding a Family's Finances. And in this article, child and adolescent psychiatrists are taught to ask a broad range of questions during clinical evaluations, and apparently there is some ambience, and there is similar ambivalence regarding setting and collecting fees. So planning out family finances for medical, for mental health, for not having insurance is always another big key. In this one, the article looks at, for people who are poor, their poverty may reflect the shame of failure. Well, for people who are wealthy, their wealth may certify their success or elicit shame if they feel extravagant. Family finances are very, very based on the economic status of some families. Some people now feel the need to buy everything and anything, whereas some families only plan for the essentials, which, let's face it, nowadays still cost money. Family planning for finances is very difficult. You need to budget, you need to plan, you need to focus week by week on what you're spending. I found that if we do that, we will have a lot more success. Another article I found very, very good was by Marks, by Lauren Marks, and it's called "In God We Trust: Qualitative Findings on Finances, Family, and Faith from a Diverse Sample of U.S. Families." It's basically an article talking about employing qualitative interviews with diverse national sample of religious families. And basically it states whether money, family relationships, religion, or something else ranks as the single most important influence in life, varies from family to family. All families, however, are obligated and obliged to manage both money and relationships. So it just shows you money is number one in pretty much every household that we see, regardless of religion, race, ethnicity. If you cannot plan financially, there's a big problem that you might not be able to succeed. Parent-child relationships are based on a lot of family financing. If the child wants something and the child doesn't get toys, but his friends have toys, you look at that. It's just a more different way to look at things, which again, planning for birthdays, planning for Christmas. If we can't plan, set aside money, and set aside things and goals, then how do we do it? We should have a breakdown of our goals, a breakdown of our monthly expenses, whether it be utility bills, gas bills, phone, cable, food, anything that we can, and ways to cut costs. I also looked at my last article was by Suzanne Perry, and it's called "The United Way of America Plans Big Increase in Programs to Strengthen Family Finances." And this was back in 2007, but the United Way of America announced that it was going to create a program to help low and moderate income people to improve their finances, saying millions of Americans are struggling to survive in an economy marked by growing income inequality, which I find very, very true. Like I said before, the best way is to budget. I've learned the hard way by being in debt when my wife didn't go back to work after my first child was born. And I got myself out of debt, and now I learn to budget week by week. I know what we spend on groceries. I know what's due, when it's due, sometimes to the point of a little over planning. Budgeting, though, is something I believe that every family can do with the right amount of teaching and intelligence and coaching, and it's even to go to a financial planner is not something out of the ordinary, but there are websites, there are apps now that talk about budgeting and put stuff into perspective. But planning family finances is very key because you're planning not just for now, but you're planning for your children's future, which in all opinion is the most important thing from either a religious standpoint, personal standpoint, any type of perspective. The future of our children, the future of our economy, our country, is all based on what we are doing now as a generation. I found all these articles very interesting, and I will continue to look at these articles to gather more information for myself and not only others, which I can take to some of the families that I work with and help them budget, help them work on things, help them get themselves where they need to go. So I believe family financing and planning finances for families is one of the biggest things that we need to work on in this country today. And I know myself, I still need to continue to work on it and grow and learn. That is my informative speech. Dr. Kelly, I apologize once again for not having an audience. Something I just could not do. I don't have friends that live around here. Family's not in the state. And once again, I apologize. And I hope you don't deduct too many points. I will share my articles with you. And thank you so much. And I will continue to plan and try to build for my family's future. Have a great day. God bless.